had one of the best things of the season in the show when we met yesterday, which is the Purple Princess tree, which is now in final quantities. However, we had no idea that we were going to have to say, yes, one of the best things on the day, because our last look at the Today's Special Value was in the 6 p.m. hour. Now, my original lineup right now, I would be talking about solar lights. There's too limited for another presentation. That's why we also had those pretty swans in the show. But what happened is they said, okay, it's a big gardening event. We all have spring fever. We can't just say, okay, can't do the Today's Special Value anymore because it's too limited, even though it's available at QVC.com. In comes Philip Watson on his white horse saying, wait a minute, stop the show. I'm gonna bring you something to jazz up that hour, and this is our brand new one-time only value. The only quantities of the season are here, and our beautiful 6-piece Reblooming, big deal, color burst daylilies. They should be close to 40. They're $31.78, and then we went even a little crazier. I think we might have had a couple cocktails, and we said, let's bring it in on 2 easy payments of $15.99.
Awesome.
High five me on that.
And I'm so glad to be on your show. I have to tell you.
Oh, I love you, Philip.
Thrilled to pieces. And we saved this. This is the hottest of the hot of all of the daylilies we've offered. It's the first time it's on this season. And I went wild about this. We're going to show you some images.
Okay.
I found them.
Wow, they'll tell me this is like a real, this is like, you know, the Indiana Jones of flowers.
Yes.
So tell us what you
Look
did,
at this.
Indiana.
It looks like you're in Holland and you're looking at tulip fields. Guess what? Those are daylily fields. The daylily breeders have all of their best things here. And there were acres and acres and acres. And we rode all over the fields, and I picked out the ones I really liked. And these are the ones that literally jumped out of the fields at me. Look at that one right there. And that is gorgeous Erin Leah. She is a sunny gold yellow, heavily budded and ruffled, but look how the blossom flattens out. Most yellow ones they either curve back or they curve forward. This is flat like a Japanese iris. Just incredibly beautiful, and you can see how it would jump out.
Look at that yellow. I don't know what it is about yellow this year, but like everything I buy or wear tends to be, oh, yellow. Well, look what I have on today.
We just want to be happy.
Love yellow.
And also passion for red, which is the best red daylily I have ever seen on the market. It's extremely fragrant, 27 inches tall, and it doesn't fade even in August, because keep in mind, these keep right on blooming. These are not one-time bloomers. They bloom, and then they bloom some more. These are the best ones out there. Very fragrant on this one with that yellow eye down in there. And you want some dessert? Exotic candy.
Ooh,
I mean, this is better than, you know, eating some junk food. You got the real good stuff right here. And exotic candy, hundreds of blooms. And I've never seen this many buds on the stalks. They had mature clumps there, and there were literally hundreds of buds up and down the stalks, and the stalks were branched. I examined each plant.
Right.
It wasn't just about the blooms. And I mean, I got down and I looked at them, and I know what beautiful flowers look like.
Sure, this is your life. This is your livelihood.
It's my life, but I went around with the plant breeders, and they told me how to look. You know, I think I know a lot about plants, and I do. But they really know, because these are their babies. They said, look and see how big the blooms are. All these blooms were 7 inches across.
Wow, 7 inches.
7 inches across. Look at the buds on these. It was the highest bud count I had seen. And not only did you have the stalk branched. So it literally was like a cat of 9 tails with blooms up and down the stalks. Incredibly beautiful. And it's the best daylily collection I've seen.
Now, you know things better be easy if they're in a show with Jane. I am not Carolyn Gracie, I'm not Jill Bauer, I'm not Pat James Dementor. I'm really not one that does much in the garden, except I'm really good at putting stuff in it to make it light up at night. So this is in my show for a reason, my love, because this is easy, 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 easy.
The easiest of any perennial out there, and the longest lived.
Wait, now say that again. The
easiest of any perennial out there, and the longest lived, whether you live in Miami, or Denver, or Chicago, or down in Mobile, Alabama. These work in all areas, and also if you've got a problem area where everything has died, and you think, oh, I think I'm gonna put those little Stella d'Oro daylilies there. Look, get this collection and you'll have something that's beautiful, because the blooms are big. They bloom like a Stella d'Oro. You've got fragrance, you've got beauty, and you've got 7-inch blossoms.
And I mean, sometimes you think you have to sacrifice. Well, they're not going to be fragrant if they're this big and bold and exciting. Yeah, Yes, they are, and we're busy on the phone lines, as we should be. I mean, now we're getting into one of the last weeks of April. 1,000 of these are already gone, by the way, which kind of boggles my mind that May is almost upon us.
Yeah.
I can't quite wrap my head around the fact that, yes, the date is the 20th of April. We don't have a lot of shows left,
No,
right?
we
We
don't.
started in January. This is something to do not only so easily because you've got a love it and return it guarantee, but you've got Cottage Farm standing behind you, and you have something brand new this season. Look at this field. I can't even see the end of it, Philip Watson.
Well, this is the trick, is you find the best plants. It's not about paying more, it's about finding the best plants. Who do we go to? We go to the people that breed these plants. They develop these daylilies. This is the cream of the crop. These are brand new. I love the ruffled edge. If you like the Stella d'Oro daylily, which is a small yellow one, this is an enormous version of that one. That one's the size of a blueberry. This one is the size of a watermelon. And crimped edges like that, it looks like a big slice of lemon pie, and the petals are flat. They flatten out. If you know Japanese iris, how flattened out they get. So it really displays this huge disc of yellow. And a great compliment to that one is the passion for red. The best red one I've seen, because it's got that nice lime eye down in there and the beautiful stamens, but a deep, deep red. I mean, this is the kind that the bull will charge.
Yeah, exactly. Rave that wood
And the
bag.
soft one in the bunch is the exotic candy.
That is so pretty.
It's a great soft pink, and it's got a deeper pink eye to it. And it has slightly reflexed petals. Every one of these blooms are 7 inches across, and they're the heaviest bloomers of any of the rebloomers we had seen, with the branched, what they call spakes. These are the parts that come up, the stalks that come up, and I'm reaching down in there. He said, look at the blooms, you see that. Now count the buds. Then after you count the buds, look how many branches there are on each stem. Then after you do that, reach down into the plant and see if there are new stalks coming up.
Wow.
And that lets you know that they're going to keep blooming, because we looked early and we also went back in September.
And so Philip found these for you. These were planned for you. We didn't think they were going to be in the show, and we never imagined they would be at this price because, like I said, we were planning on presenting the Today's Special Value during this time. That's too limited for another presentation, and over 1,700 of you have dialed in. If you're getting this for 2 easy payments, so that's 50 cents a day for 2 months, for years and years and years of beauty, and adding value to your home, come on, get more than one set. So you're getting 2 each of the varieties,
That's
right?
correct. That's correct.
But why not double that order with Easy Pay, and then you can just have this gorgeous bank of these lilies in your home, right?
Absolutely. And my grandmother had daylilies,
Did she?
but she didn't have the ones that rebloomed. They weren't developed yet. And I always loved them. And it was the first plant that I ever grew, and I knew I was going to be successful because she gave it to me. And she had put her blessing on it. But she would have a fit if she could see these colors and know that hers would bloom all summer.
Right.
You know,
Is that what reblooming means if we're kind of new to the lily growing world?
Yeah, that's what it means. I'm sure you've seen the old-fashioned orange daylilies, and they bloom the one time, and then the foliage starts to turn a little bit yellow, and then the old stalks turn brown. In fact, we used to pull the old stalks out of them and use them for arrows when we play Tarzan. So that's what we would do with those.
On guard.
But you've always got new blooms coming up with these, so it stays fresh. New leaves are coming up all the time. It never looks tattered.
Right.
And if you've got that part of the
Leggy or
garden
tired.
where, say, if you've got saltwater inundation, where it's beside the driveway, you've got difficult soil because the gravel has gotten down in the soil, these work in those areas.
Wow.
The coldest part of the country, the hottest part, in containers, you name it.
Wow. I love the container thought. And this is my favorite shot, because can you imagine Philip right there, because he was there looking at this sea of daylilies saying, okay, I got to pick out the best ones for you, especially now with 2,000 gone. By the way, this price is going up at the end of the day. Philip may flash that killer smile of his, but there's no way that we're going to ever have this under $32 again this year, or most likely ever. This is our one-time only value. The price goes up, no ifs, ands, or buts at the end of the day. And then we even added Easy Pay. $15 on your credit card.
And I absolutely love this, but I have to tell you, when I'm picking these out, I mean, literally, there were thousands of different daylilies in these fields, and we spent 2 days just going through the fields, looking and looking, and I had my notepad, and I'm taking my notes, and I'm writing down the things that I liked about this one and liked about that one. Then we went back on the second day and checked it off again. But you saw how the daylilies were rowed up, and there's that beautiful bright yellow one. You're getting 2 of those in the collection. they're rode up like corn or like soybeans down in Mississippi. And we rode on a high tractor.
Did you really?
And the wheels went down between the daylily rows.
Whoa.
And then I could look down and see the daylilies. So you didn't walk the whole field. You're riding on this big tractor.
That
looking
is so
down.
cool.
It was really exciting.
Really cool.
And it was like being the Indiana Jones of horticulture.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, you need the hat. You really do.
I was all in for it, but the exotic candy, and they appealed to me for different reasons. And I was looking for a nice color balanced mix that was electric in color, that would bloom all summer long, and that people would be happy.
Right. Well, that is the key. I mean, I've seen photos and stills and spreads in magazines of the amazing gardens that Philip has done. It was so cute because Chaz Dean was saying to me last night, I really need Philip to come out to my house and help me with all of these colors. We all feel that way, but guess what? That's not just a pipe dream. That's not just something we wish could happen. That's what happened tonight. Yeah. Philip chose these. I mean, I could walk in, first of all, I would never find the quality and the type of these reblooming daylilies or the size of these because you discovered these for us, but I would never know, well, does that yellow go quite right with that pink, and then should I add in that red? There's no worries because this beautiful mix of color is here for you thanks to Philip. And before we run off to the phones, because we're busy, again, automated ordering, QVC.com, app on your phone, text your order, lots of ways to get to the head of the class when you're dialing in tonight or ordering tonight. What can I expect this year?
Tons of flowers this year.
Really? So
these will bloom like crazy this year, and I'll show you how they ship out to you. And these really will bloom their heads off this year. Nice big divisions are coming out to you. You plant it to here or like that. It doesn't matter. In any kind of soil, whether it's wet or dry, shade or sun, container or in the ground. And a little bit later, it turns into this. And then the bloom stalks come up. It's going to bloom its head off this year. And by the way, I mentioned how the daylily is the longest lived perennial that I know of at all. It is also the longest bloomer of any of them that I know in this configuration.
Wow.
And you're going to love the daylily. You can't kill it.
I can do it. You can really, really, really do it. And I know many of you have now come back to get more than one. That makes such sense at $15.89 a month on 2 easy payments. Carlene is on the line.
Love it.
Carlene, Philip just designed another gorgeous part of your garden. Welcome into our big gardening day on QVC.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fabulous.
Well, you sound fabulous. What do you think about these daylilies?
I love them because you can't kill them.
It's the truth, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I ordered the fragrant collection, and now I saw these, and I love the color. And my husband and I have ripped out a lot of old growth around this house.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm putting in some color.
Well, honey, you're going to get a lot of color with this collection because that day when I was at the plant evaluation trials, I was looking for color that day, and that's how I chose these. But they never stop blooming.
I love them. I love them. You can't kill them. I've got some of the one-shot deals that are long and spindly, and they're pretty, but I'm looking for something that does a little bit more than what I've got going on.
Right.
Well, Carlene, let me tell you a little something that I didn't mention when I was going over all the attributes of these particular varieties, is that the plant breeder also showed me something else. Is, you know how on the old-fashioned daylilies, when you feel the petals, they feel a little bit thin?
Yes.
The petals on these are thick and waxy, which means that they last longer. Some of my daylilies start to look tired toward the end of the day or in August when the sun gets really hot. But because these have thick petals, they hold up better in the heat once it settles in on us.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting them. They're just gorgeous.
And the neighbors are going to be jealous, Carlene, but that's just the way it goes, okay? Just let
That's
them.
Jane.
Just
I
let
can't
them be
wait to get
jealous.
'em.
All right.
Good. Thank you
thanks,
so much.
Carlene. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
And then what about cut flowers? Like you have friends coming over and you look at your table and think, oh, I wish I could, you just go out and
let me tell you about the daylilies.
Okay.
The daylilies, that's what they mean.
Right.
They bloom for 24 hours, each one. But you can cut them because more are coming.
Right.
The old-fashioned ones, you cut them, game over.
Done.
That's it till
Yep.
next year.
See you next
These
year.
are always sending up new spikes, so you can do that. And if you're going to do it, I do it right at dusk, right before people come over. put them on the table, you've got fragrance, you've got beauty, and the blooms are 7 inches across.
7 inches.
So you're thinking, okay,
that.
I don't have to go get oriental lilies
Right.
to go on the table, which sometimes can overpower the aroma of the dishes that you cook for
you're
dinner.
Absolutely right.
So this is a nice soft fragrance, and we're going to look at the feels again because I want you to imagine that I'm on this high tractor with the gigantic tires that are going down where the green part is, and I'm looking down at all of these daylilies, and I would say, oh, stop, I want to get off the tractor and go down the little ladder and go look at those. And I would look, and I would reach down in it and see for all the new buds and all that sort of thing.
That's so cool.
And I would take my notes and get back on the tractor, and then we'd proceed on.
So we brought in everything that we're getting for this season today. We did not think it was going to be a one-time only value price. We thought it would be closer to $40. Still an amazing value for 6 of these. They're going to bring beauty in your garden this year and next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that, and you know where I'm going, and so on and so on and so on. 5,000 have been ordered in the show, and today is the day that the orders should be taken.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, what the one-time only value price means is the price goes up. And then we normally at this price would not see easy pay, but it's been a big day, and maybe you got some decorative items, maybe you got some other cottage farms, maybe you were one of the lucky ones to get the purple princess tree. There's only a few hundred of those left. Easy pay means you're gonna get these to your home when you're ready to plant them and you're ready to go, and you have $15.89 this month and $15.89 next month. Let me say that I'm new, I'm like a Jane, okay? So I'm really not into gardening. What guidance does Cottage Farms give us when these come to your home?
You'll get a growing guide, which I've got one around
here.
here. Oh, there it is under the big daylily. You'll get a growing guide.
The daylily was so big, it hid the growing guide.
It was, but it'll tell you all about daylilies. But the daylily is so easy, you don't really need to know anything. But I always save the growing guides just so I remember what I got and all that sort of thing. But it's very, very easy to grow the daylilies because they will grow anywhere. You know, Jane, if you've got a small garden, or even if you've got a big garden and you want to put some in pots, because these bloom all summer, you can put them in pots. And you know what you do with these in the wintertime? Nothing. Leave the pot outside. The pot will fall apart before the daylily does.
Really?
Really. And I use them on rooftop gardens in Manhattan where it's really windy up there. And because these are strong, these are tetraploid daylilies. These are going to absolutely rock for you. You got the fragrance, you got the reblooming quality, and you also have something nobody else has. The blooms are 7 inches across.
7 inches. Keep that in mind. And you know, everything in life takes a heck of a lot of effort, you know, to look good, to be healthy, to make your house look pretty. We're constantly doing upkeep. Oh, I better get out the power washer. The deck is looking a little dingy before the party. Here's something you put in the ground and you pretty much ignore.
Exactly. They thrive on neglect, and that's why you see them. You'll see them on old house sites. The daylilies are there. Sometimes the only thing left of the house is the chimney. But the daylilies, oh, they're still just carrying on like the gardener is still going to come out and look at them. They're in the middle of the field at this point. The cows might see them. But that's it. These are new varieties of old-fashioned daylilies that are just as easy, and these are exotic colors, big blossoms, rebloomers. You've got fragrance in the collection. You've got big blooms. And that yellow one right there, if you have never had the perfect yellow daylily, that's it. It's flat. I mean, it's like a frisbee-sized one with a crimped pie shell edge. I love that daylily. And the perfect red one, passion for red, the best red one I ever laid eyes to.
So we've sold well over 5,500. That makes me worried because I know we brought in one quantity for the season today, not expecting it to be at this low price, and this is all we have for the entire season. And this is not something that tomorrow you can get in your car or your tractor like Philip rode around in and go out and find. Like, you found this for us and brought this collection to us.
I did, and it wasn't just about the beauty. I mean, you can see the beauty is obvious. It was about the genetics of it. Is the plant going to stand up? Are the stems strong? Are the stems branched? Some of these mature clumps had hundreds and hundreds of buds, and you reach down in the clump, there were more stalks coming up all the time. That was the beauty of it. I thought, wow, this is a real doer. This is going to get me through everything, because these will grow in bad soil. If you don't want to spend any money on preparing the soil, and you've got a new house, you know what the construction soil is like.
Right, terrible.
Plant it directly in the construction soil. No problem.
Wow.
You've got an area where the drain pipe comes out and it collects water. No problem. Put it there. They're perfectly happy.
They are no maintenance. We all should be as no maintenance as
Yeah,
Philip's
well,
amazing reblooming
I'm not the
color-burst
daylily.
daylilies. Me neither, but that's okay because these are, and it can take that beautiful place in our garden year after year. You know, you can count on it. You know, next year and the year after that and the year after that, it's coming back. 6,000 ordered. 1,000 of you are waiting on the line. We are busy, so automated ordering or QVC.com or the app on your phone. Easy way to text your order to. You can sign up for that, text ordering at QVC.com. And even if you're brand new, take advantage of Easy Pay because that means you spend $15.89 this month, $15.89 next month for years and years and years of glorious beauty in the garden. Like what? Like that doesn't even sound right. That doesn't even sound like the right sentence.
It's a great investment. You can divide them really easily, which I'm crazy about. And I keep going over to this beautiful yellow one right here because that daylily my grandmother gave me when I was a kid was called Hyperion.
Aww.
And it was a softer yellow than this. It only bloomed the one time. But because of my grandmother, I'm really attracted to the yellow daylilies, and I wish that she could see this one that never stops blooming because look at that. I mean,
Wow.
my goodness.
They're so beautiful. They bring you such joy when you say it's too hot to go out there and do anything in the garden. They're still popping up their pretty little faces and they are blooming and they are beautiful. And I'm proud that, you know, Philip has been a part of QVC for how many years?
This is my 17th year.
17
Yeah.
years. I mean, like in your career as a horticulturist and a designer of beautiful homes, that one-on-one touch is still here with QVC. Like, have you ever calculated in your head how many, probably hundreds of thousands of homes that you've helped with beautiful flowers? You have.
And people contact me on Facebook, but it's exciting because they tell me things that I didn't know. So, you know, the osmotic flow of knowledge happens for all of us, and it's great in that sense. But the beautiful thing about gardening is that you can start doing it when you're really young, as my grandmother gave me that daylily, and you can do it when you're really, really old. And because plants are changing all the time, new varieties are coming out, it's never dull.
Right, right.
It's always changing. It stays exciting.
Right. And that's a really good point. Maybe if you haven't had success because of where you live or the type of soil, or you just think, I don't have a green thumb, so I can't do this. Like Philip said, this is not the lily that your grandmother, bless her heart, gave to you. These are maybe not the lilies that you bought at a local garden center 5 or 6 years ago and weren't really happy with. And you know, you've got our guarantee standing behind you. So
Full year.
Right. Here at QVC, we say love it or return it in 30 days. What does Cottage Farm say?
We say it's guaranteed for a full year, and if you don't like it, all you have to do is just give us a call.
So-
we fix it. That's it.
Let me think, what do I have to lose? That would be nothing.
Nothing, exactly.
You're standing behind
And
it for a
everything to
year.
gain.
We've got the 2 easy payments of $15.89. Over, at this point, 7,200 of you have ordered this. Many of you are picking up more than one. In fact, 1,000 people bought more than one set. Some people like 3 or 4, so you're really outfitting that whole fence that now is going to look beautiful. Like the fence is falling down, but that's okay because you're putting the lilies in there.
Exactly. Also, if you've got an embankment in front of your house that is always washing, or it's so steep you don't want to mow it,
Right.
plant the daylilies there. That's why you see them planted on the embankments of bridges.
Right.
They hold the soil. But rather than having the old common ones, have this.
Get the
They
good
bloom
ones.
all summer long. You never have to mow the area again. They're so dense, you don't have any weeds either.
Wow. Okay. It pretty much took care of all of the work in the garden. Thank you very much, Philip Watson. I
Oh,
love you. I adore you.
love you too, Jane. This
Thanks
has
for
been
being on
so
my show.
sweet.
Thank you.
My
When do you get
pleasure.
back?